Generally, people who overspend, who buy things that they can't really afford, they're much more likely to do so when purchasing using a credit card, as opposed to cash. The reason behind this, I think, is because when you're using cash, you see immediately, right here and right now, this money no longer belongs to me. I do not have access to it anymore. It's not in my pocket anymore. When you buy something with a credit card, so right here and right now, it doesn't really affect me. I'm basically just delaying. I have a debt of some sort that at a later point in time needs to be taken care of. But right here and right now, I'm still good. It doesn't really affect me. And that's why some people are able to make poor decisions about finances, because they don't see the immediate result right here and right now. I think this distinction is critical when we think about the month of Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, when we're thinking about what Averos we've committed in the last year. So when you think back to a particular Avera that you've committed, did you envision that if you would say this word of Lashon Hara right here and right now, if you would fudge the numbers on your business or something else, right here and right now, is something going to happen to me? I think for most of us, the answer is no. For most of us, the way we relate to it is that there's some grand scorecard in Shemayim, and even if right here and right now, I'm not as careful, I'm not as in control of myself as I should be, basically at some point later in time, for some of us sooner, for some of us farther away, after 120, then we'll have to deal with it. And in the meantime, we even have time to perform tshuva, to take care of it. We're not really focused on how this is going to affect me right here, right now, because we don't see an immediate result. There's no bolt of lightning that comes and strikes you down. Our holy Sfarim teach us, though, that on a spiritual level, that's very far from the truth. If a person eats something not kosher, it becomes part of them spiritually. They become contaminated. If a person commits murder, they're not the same person that just in the scorecard in Shemayim has this like one big X against them, a big strike against them. They're a fundamentally different person on a spiritual level. When a person speaks Lashon Hara, when a person commits any other Avera, they're not careful about something in Hilchos Shabbos, they become spiritually contaminated. They have spiritual toxins in their system. The problem is that it's not visible. We don't see it immediately, and therefore we're able to a certain extent ignore it and deal with the situation that we're dealing with right now and not worry about the later consequences. And therefore, that as each one of us conducts a spiritual assessment and we're thinking about what did we do wrong and how can we perfect it, one way is to stimulate our imagination a little bit. When you're about to speak Lashon Hara, or you're going to do something on Shabbos that maybe you shouldn't, to visualize, to realize that on a spiritual level, there is a lot happening right here and right now. You're going to affect yourself tremendously, and just because you can't see it with your eye doesn't mean that it's not real.